Hello students, we are going to continue in our notes for chapter 1 and we are working on section 2.3, which is political and physical maps. We are going to begin reading here in the text to answer the question, what is a cartographer? The governor of a state needs a map that shows counties and cities. A mountain climber needs a map that shows cliffs, canyons, and ice fields. Cartographers or map makers create different kinds of maps for these different purposes. So our answer here is highlighted. Cartographer is a map maker. So it's just kind of a little more fancy name for a map maker. And we are going to move on to political map information here. And so we are going to be filling in the blanks from what we see over here in the text. So a political map shows features that humans have created, such as countries, states, provinces, and cities. These features are labeled and lines show boundaries such as those between countries. So features that humans have created, such as countries, states, provinces, cities, and capitals. These features are labeled and lines show boundaries. They may also show features like roads. Now that part's a little bit extra that wasn't there in the text. I'm going to show you some examples of maps here as we go through, but while you are writing that, I can't go back to page 20. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go to page 22. There we go. Okay, so page 22 is going to show us a political map. So as you're typing that information in, you are going to just kind of listen to me point out those features. So features that humans have created. Humans created the boundaries to countries. And so you can see here that on a political map, countries are divided by colors. Basically, that's the easiest way to show the boundary of one country to another. So here we've got China colored in yellow. Mongolia is colored in green. North Korea is purple. South Korea is pink. It's kind of hard to see that difference there. And then Japan is also green. Now, when we are using colors on a political map, you can repeat colors over and over again as long as you don't put them right next to each other. So North Korea also could be colored green. You could technically get away with probably coloring using two colors on a political map. And then we also see cities here in the little dots are cities that are labeled. Sometimes it depends on how close we are. We're really zoomed out here. We're looking at several different countries. So it's not going to show us features like roads here, but it will also show us capitals in some places. Here we go. There's the capital it's got a little star with a circle around it. That may be hard to see on this that I'm showing you here, but you could zoom in if you had it in person. On Japan, we've got Tokyo is the capital. That's got that little star there. Okay, so those are political maps. Now the colors on a political map, it doesn't specifically show that. I've just explained that to you, but we're gonna fill in the blanks for number 2, colors on a political map. The different colors show boundaries between countries or states. Political maps change when ownership changes. An example of ownership changing would be through a war, through exploration, or through revolution. Now, that doesn't happen a whole lot anymore, but it used to happen a lot when places were first being explored and they created boundaries and then they created names and those changed over time. So if we look at a map from the 1400s, it's going to look much different from a map that we look at that's from today. And so mostly in this more present kind of time, again, we're not going to see a whole lot of changes on maps because we typically aren't having a whole lot of ownership changes at this point. Okay, so we are going to go back to the text and we're going to look at physical maps. So a physical map shows natural features of physical geography. It includes landforms such as mountains, plains, valleys, and deserts. It also includes oceans, lakes, rivers, and other bodies of water. A physical map can also show elevation and relief. Elevation is the height of a physical feature above sea level. Relief is the change in elevation from one place to another. Maps show elevation by using color. The physical map at the left uses 7 colors for 7 ranges of elevation. So I'll go back and I'll show you that map again here in a second, but let's get this part completed first. So they show what kind of features. Physical features are natural features. Okay, so we want to define that. To define what physical means is natural. And so some of the things that includes is landforms like mountains, plains, valleys, and deserts. It also includes bodies of water like oceans and lakes and rivers. These maps don't change much over time because the only change that we're going to look at is probably erosion, maybe drought in some areas could dry up rivers that were there before or dry up lakes that were there before, that kind of thing. Elevation will change a little bit over time, but not a whole lot. And it would take hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years sometimes to change these maps. So then colors on the physical map show elevation, which is the height above sea level. So once again, as you are writing that, I am going to go back to, nope, there we go. Go back to the map that I showed you a minute ago. Here we are. And there we go. We have 7 colors, it said, for the 7 different levels of elevation. And typically the higher the elevation, the, I guess we'll say brighter it goes. It's like reverse in the rainbow colors, or we could say starting at the top, it's kind of in rainbow colors because it starts a little kind of reddish orange and it moves into yellow, green, and then blue for low. The closer it is to sea level, the closer it's going to get to that color blue. So here you can see on the map that there is mountains that are here, right? And the mountains are going to have some high elevation. So that's why we've got this orangey color up here that we're looking at 10,000 plus feet. Here in this lighter orange color, we're looking at between 2,000 and 5,000 feet. Then we have this area that says plains on it, and we generally know that plains are flatter land, so we're looking at around 0 to 500 feet. And then as we get closer to the water, you're going to maybe find levels that are below sea level, but there's not a whole lot of places that you may see that, okay? So moving on to the next page here. I'm going to show you some examples of these maps, and you are going to tell me or say out loud whether it is I'm going to take that off of there so we can see this a little bit better. You're going to tell me whether it is a political map or a physical map. So there we go. Now it's a little bit bigger, okay? So political map or a physical map. So that's not working. All right. So when we're looking at this, what are the things that we see here? Are we looking at boundaries or are we looking at physical features? We're looking at boundaries, right? We have the different colors for the boundaries of the country. So this is a political map. How about this one? Okay, we don't see boundaries, right? We see different colors. There's even a tiny little key over here. I wonder actually if I can make this bigger. Actually, let's do that. Okay, so now you can see the whole thing. And so here we are looking at different elevations, right? Water depth and land elevation is what it says over here. And so that is a physical map. This one, we see boundaries, different colors, right? That is a political map. Here we have physical map. It says it right there on the key. So sometimes it's going to tell you on the map as well what type it is. Now, this one is pretty busy. It also shows a lot of other features on here, but it's focusing on being a physical map, okay? The next one here we go, the United States. This is a political map. Now notice that you're also going to see rivers on here as well, right? So rivers are usually what we're looking at on a physical map because it's a natural feature, a physical feature, but we are going to see a little bit of crossover on our maps as we use them. Okay, so now this one is a close-up map of Costa Rica, and we see some cities, but we also see elevation. So this one, again, is going to be classified as a physical map. It could be used a little bit for political stuff as well, because we do see Nicaragua over here, and there is a boundary drawn, but it's not using different colors to show that boundary, right? What the colors are for is showing the physical features, so that's a physical map. And okay, we're gonna go out for this one because that one's a little too big. So this one, we're looking at Europe. We're looking at a little bit of Asia over here and a teeny tiny bit of Africa down here. But we see all of these different colors. So this is showing us boundaries. Okay, so this is a political map. And that's the last example of maps that I want to show you between physical and political. Okay, we're gonna be looking at other types of maps in another part of this unit, but that is on our physical maps and political maps.